Okie dokie, so it's probably gonna be in the title, but the 20-second planche goal will fall. Not today, but next training I'm gonna go for my max hold again, and this time I believe we can get 20 seconds. Now, if you remember last push training, I did 20 presses in the planche with 2 kilos on my feet. The form was atrocious, but hey, at least we did it, even though I was kind of tired even before starting that training. And basically, I'm still feeling it in my shoulders. If I were to attempt the planche today, 20 seconds, I would most likely fail because I have some soreness left in my shoulder and my biceps. But today, I'm just gonna activate the planche, do some light stuff, and basically get the recovery going for next time, because 20 seconds, when we do it, it will be the first goal that falls, unless tomorrow, well, hopefully tomorrow I get the 45 seconds of front lever. We'll see about that, but we are getting close to some of the goals that I've set for this bulk. And today what I'm gonna do is some band assisted planche. When you're training for the planche to unlock it, there are two main ways to get up to the planche, right? You can do your progressions, your normal progressions like the tuck planche or the advanced tuck planche or the straddle planche, or you can do band assisted planche, right? And they both have their benefits, right? It's not like you can ask yourself which of the two is the best, band assisted planche or progressions of the planche. Which one is the best? There's no real answer to that. They just both have their own benefits and downsides. So when you're doing the progressions like the tuck planche, the benefit is that you're holding your own body weight. You're learning, how to hold your own body weight without anything basically getting in the way, right? There is nothing holding you up, assisting you. You're just able to, handle your body weight as it is. But the downside is that the position is not exactly the same. So when you're in a tuck planche, you don't have the exact position of a full planche. You're not leaning as much. Your legs are tucked up, obviously, and that's the advantage of the band assisted planche. You can go into the actual progression you want to get to, and basically use assistance to hold yourself in that exact position. But the downside is then that you're not holding your entire body weight. The band is pulling you up, you up, and basically the activation is a little bit different, even though the position is exactly the same. But they both have their downsides and their upsides. For me, today I don't want to hold my entire body weight. I just want to keep things light, and I want to be as specific to the position as possible for the 20-second hold in a few days. So I'm gonna do the band assisted planche, and you can decide for yourself, in which case you want to use which option. So the more you train, basically, the more you're gonna know which one, or like which option you have to choose for an optimal training. And today for me, it's gonna be the band assisted planche. I'm gonna do 20 seconds of hold with some assistance. I think it's like 10 kilos of assistance, so quite a lot actually still, but that's okay, right? I just want to feel the position and recover for next time, so I don't have to do a lot. Let's go. I think, depending on how this goes, 2 sets, or if it goes bad, I hope it doesn't. It's gonna be 1 set, but let's just see. Feels kind of hard, to be honest. Holy shit. Okay, so those holds felt a little harder than expected, but maybe the unexpected was to be expected, because I've been training planche presses weighted hard for a couple weeks now, and basically when you do that and you go to your absolute limit, I started like kind of not that intense with a low volume. My first training, I did 7 presses in total, and then I built up to like 10, 15, and then 20 in the end, or something like that. And basically, it's not like in those couple weeks I became twice as strong, It's just that I was pushing myself further and further and further. And when you push yourself further and further and further, it's like an exponential amount of time required to recover from that. So if you train daily at 50%, you're gonna recover easily every day. But if you train every 2 days at 100%, you're gonna crash in no time, because every little bit of intensity that you add to it, that you add to your training, requires exponentially more time to recover from. And those 20 presses last training were fucking difficult. That was my limit, So that will take a while to recover from, likely until the next planche training. But right now, just activating the planche a little bit, it does feel fucking like my shoulders are just useless, And yeah, I have to not let it get to my mind too much, It's a mindset. That's a real thing. It's something that Eric Bugenhagen says. But when you believe you can achieve something, the likelihood of you achieving it will be infinitely higher than when you consider yourself not to be able to do something. Because let's say you're holding the planche, right, and you believe you can do 20 seconds of tuck planche, whatever. If you believe you can do the tuck planche for 20 seconds and at 10 seconds it feels kind of hard, you're going to be willing to go until the end, right, and see what your absolute max is. But if you don't even believe in yourself, right, and you're doing your planche or your tuck planche, and you're at 10 seconds, and it's kind of burning, you're like, ah, fuck, yeah, I knew it. I'm too weak, and you fucking quit, right? And maybe you did like 11 seconds when you could have done 21, right? Get double of that. So, the mindset is very important. Right now, these fucking planche holds, they feel difficult, right? Even with assistance, 20 seconds was difficult. But at the same time, I have to fucking believe that I'm gonna fucking recover, right? And that it's gonna feel, that the actual 20-second planche hold is gonna feel lighter than today's assisted planche. That's kind of the mindset I want to have going into that attempt. You have to believe to achieve, and it sounds corny as fuck, but the more you train, the longer you train, the more you will realize that sometimes all of that corny shit you see on the internet, it holds some truth. It comes from somewhere. So yeah. I'm gonna do one more set of planche holds, but it's just gonna be a light activation with 2 kilos on my feet. So I'm gonna try to get between 3 and 5 seconds of a planche hold, with some weight on my feet. It's gonna feel harder than the actual planche, but that's okay. I just want activation so that my body remembers the heavy planche and kind of feels light when I actually do the planche hold in a couple of days. So yeah. That's gonna be set number 3, and probably the last set of planche. I think afterwards we're just gonna do some accessories. So let's see how the planche hold goes. All right. Full planche with weighted full planche feels heavier than it used to feel a couple days ago, but that's normal because, like I said, I'm still tired. Now all that's left for me to do is take this weight off, do some accessories, and then the training of today won't be finished, but I'll get to that in a second because I've been doing some special stuff to basically get my hold into its prime, So I'll discuss that in a moment after the forearm work. Okay, so let's do some forearm accessories. This exercise is nothing new, just lift the hammer up. But what I do want to mention is no matter what exercise you do, the exercise is useless if you don't go for PRs, exercises become useful when you try to get stronger at them, and that goes for anything. That goes for your planche, your front lever, but also for the accessories like forearm stuff. So let's let's aim for a PR. 9 reps is the current one. I'm gonna aim for 12 or more. All right, 14. Not too bad. Let's repeat. The bar was sweaty. All right, now I have to show you one more thing. As you can see, my parallettes are still standing in the position for a full planche. Now, why is this? I will explain in a moment. Let me just adjust your height to my level. There we go. So, the reason that those parallettes are still standing there is because what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks, and maybe I should have mentioned it before, but I've been doing 2 holds of planche every day. So when I have a push day, I just do my normal push day, and then a hold in the evening. When I don't have a push training, I do a hold before my training, and then a hold in the evening. So I've been doing that for the last couple of weeks, and basically I've been doing holds anywhere up from 6 seconds, so basically like 6 to 7 seconds, and now and then it starts to become 8 seconds, but basically I'm doing these holds at a capacity that's lower than 50% of my max. So I am guessing right now my maximum planche when I'm recovered is 20 seconds, and basically half of that is 10 seconds, of course. So any planche that I do below 10 seconds is a good hold, and the reason I've been doing this is because, well, as with any skill, the more often you practice it, the more you're going to be adapted to it. And I want to be adapted to the planche so that I can hold it. I want to be accustomed to the position. One of my mistakes on my previous max hold attempt was in the training prior to it. I was doing a lot of heavy planche with 2 kilos, but I was never doing the actual planche hold, unweighted, just how I'm supposed to feel it in the actual attempt. I was also not doing any endurance work. So I fixed that this time. I'm doing endurance work, 20-second holds with assistance. I've been doing regular planche holds twice a day, and basically tonight is going to be the last hold, the last regular planche hold before taking 2 days off completely and attempting my maximum hold again, because we need 2.5 seconds more, and I am strongly convinced that I can do it with the right conditions. So I'm going to do everything in my power tonight. Like I said, one more hold, somewhere between 8 and 10 seconds probably. And if that feels good, I am confident that I can get to the 20 seconds as well in a couple of days. So we'll see how that goes. But basically you call this grease the groove, which is like a method of training where you train multiple times a day, but at all times you stay below your maximum. In fact, you stay like under half of your maximum. So if your planche hold or if your tuck planche hold is 10 seconds, you stay under 5. And the reason that you do this is because, well, when you do something a lot, when you practice something a lot, you can purely focus on the technique and you will become very good at the technique. You will be super good at using your muscles in that certain way that you need for the planche or the front lever or whatever. And by doing it at such a low effort rate, right, and then always resting in between at least 10 minutes, you don't even need a warm-up, you can just do it whenever you want. So, you go up the stairs and you do some pull-ups, right? You go down the stairs, you grab the stairs and do some pull-ups, like multiple times a day. I've been doing it twice a day, but you can even do it like 10 times a day if you want, right? As long as there is enough rest time in between. And it will, make your technique so much better in such a short time. It's kind of what I was doing with the pistol squats as well, where, I was just pistol squatting twice a day and basically my technique polished up. That's kind of the same thing. And I was able to squat a big fat PR at the end of those 30 days that I did it. And I hope to get the same with the planche right now. So I will see you tomorrow for what will most likely be a front lever hold max attempt. and in a couple days for what will hopefully be a max full planche attempt, right? So lots of exciting stuff. And now I'm just gonna have a shower and some food to recover for what's to come.